Did Adam and Eve have original grace? The notion of original grace is a theological notion. It indicates something particular in our first parents, who are thus a man and a woman who existed, even if their name Adam and Eve are symbolic, of mythological order. It remains to know what this original grace is. Well, it's very simple to understand. Original grace, his heart, I would say, what is the cause of all the rest, will expand in the rest. It's simply a presence of God, infinite, in their soul, I would say, invading the entire garden around them, to the point that the Bible says, God was walking in the evening breeze. An affectionate presence of God, accompanied by graces of knowledge of the heart of their friend God and which is in their heart. True paradise is in their hearts, and it transfigures suddenly all the vision they have of this world where they live, which is the same world as now with wild beasts etc., but everything is changed, because God is there. Thus, since the original grace is a reciprocal friendship between Adam, in his soul, and God, between Eve in his soul and God, it implies that it implies all the elements found in Christian grace, namely, a supernatural organism that elevates their soul, to be able to love God as a friend, therefore as an equal. Indeed, in reality, God is far superior to man. Man is a worm in comparison, and so there can be no friendship between two people who do not have the same status, the same nature. We will have respect, adoration. In order to have a friendship, it is necessary for God to lower himself and raise man to his level. It is a grace called sanctifying grace. Secondly, God continues to draw them to him tenderly by a love that ignites their heart, which is called a present grace, which vivifies them. So it's something lived very concretely. Warning: this is not the beatific vision. They do not yet see the essence of God face to face. If he saw her face to face, this essence being identical to the very notion of happiness, bliss, they would never have been able to reject God. They would be snapped up, because we do not refuse what is naturally the finality of our life to know happiness itself. We only work for happiness. We are programmed like that. We are not free to choose the misfortune for misfortune. So it is an intense mystical grace, but all the same, below the beatific vision. What can we compare it to? Well, it is the same grace that Mary had, in her Immaculate Conception, in the bosom of her mother, according to the redemption of Christ that would be realized 50 years later. The Virgin Mary received this same presence of God palpable, like Adam and Eve. The only difference is that the Virgin Mary has remained faithful to her, beyond the temptations of Lucifer. While Adam and Eve, at one point got tired, and we choose solitary freedom. So then, original grace is a life of charity with God. The consequences of original grace, namely, the harmony of their intelligence, the harmony of their minds with their sensibility, their rendered immortal body, the nature which is seduced by their presence, are consequences, and we shall see them in the next video.